And because you matter, we're going to put in place all of these interventions so that you can do well. And we're happy this morning to see the results. In terms of those who entered, we had 30,514 students entering the exams, and 93.9% of them actually sat the exam. This is a issue that we have over the years in terms of students registering for exams, but then not sitting it. So we had 93.9% of them sitting. So there was a significant enough number of students who didn't, a little bit over 1,000 of the students who did not sit the actual exam. Now for the results. English A. Our public school national pass rate is 85%. 85% of our students who sat CSEC 2025 English A got between grade 1 and 3. Now let's put that in context. Last year, it was 76% of our students. This year, we're at 85% of our students doing English A, getting between a 1 and a 3. Now we need to juxtapose that with the regional average. The regional average is 80% of students passing English A. We have surpassed the region in English A. In terms of mathematics, which is an area you know that we have to do quite a bit of work on. A lot of the intervention was there, and we have to continue doing that work. But if we look at the numbers, in terms of mathematics passes, 44% of our public school children who did CSEC 2025 mathematics passed with a grade 1 to grade 3. 44%. We obviously want that to be higher, but last year it was 39%, and the regional average is 39% of students passing mathematics. We are above the regional average again in mathematics. But as the CXC meeting yesterday noted, across the entire region, there are concerns around mathematics. And it is something as a region we're going to have to tackle. But we in Jamaica, we've already started it. And it is very encouraging to see that we're above region. And we're going to continue on that thrust. But I think it's also very important for us to note too, that we are approaching, we're inching up towards pre-pandemic numbers. And so in 2029, would have been at 54%. And so we're slowly moving back to that in terms of mathematics. But what I should note, though, is in relation to English, that we are back to pre-pandemic and above. So with English A, in 2019, the pass rate for English was 82.8%. This year, it is 85%. So we have gone beyond pre-pandemic. So I think in terms of English, we're there. We're back to where we need to be, and then we can now move forward from that. In terms of mathematics, still not at pre-pandemic, but we are better than we were last year, and we're better than the regional average. The other areas, I'm just going to be showing you some tables. There's a lot of data there in it, and you can see the English A highlighted and the mathematics highlighted. But there's some other areas that we've done quite well in, and we will just highlight some of them. In terms of business, that's a key area. Principles of business, we did quite well in that. Theater arts, we're a very cultural country. 92% pass rate there, and 90% in principles of business. Visual arts, 83% pass rate. Agricultural science, 86% pass rate. Biology, 84% pass rate. IT, 88%. Food, nutrition, and health, 93%. So obviously we're doing well in a number of areas, and we want to celebrate that, celebrate the students, celebrate the teachers for this very good performance. And of course, you know me, I am very practical. And when it's not working and we have problems, I say it. So I celebrate the good things and I highlight the ones that we're not doing so hot in, that we have to fix. And some of those areas include physics, chemistry, and social studies. And we know we're going to have to do some more work there in terms of physics and chemistry. We know that a part of that problem has to do with the labs. And that is why we have the lab program. So we did an audit of all science labs, and we have started a procurement to get equipment for the labs in our science, for science areas. And so we think with that, when we equip the labs and we do some more targeted interventions there, we can work to get those numbers up. And we also know that this 2025 CSEC exam was the first year that there was a change in the testing and the syllabus for the social studies area. So we have to continue working on that area. In terms of STEM subjects, these are the STEM subjects that we do at the CSEC level. You have a mixed bag for 2025, but there's some areas where, you know, we did well again in terms results in the IT areas, also on the electronic document preparation and management area and human biology areas. So the STEM areas, we're seeing improvements there, and we're very happy to see that. Now, to a number that a lot of people ask about, the number of students passing 5 or more subjects, including mathematics and English. This one, if you look at the data here, it's somewhat flat, but obviously an improvement again. So in 2024, 18% of our students would have had 5 CSECs with maths and English A. So 6,024 students. This year, we have 6,200. So we've improved to 19.2%. And as we continue the interventions, we expect that this number will continue to go up in terms of our students getting more 5 or more subjects, including maths and English. And given the maths and English focus that we've had and we've seen that success, we expect that we'll see that number also trending up as we go forward. In terms of regional numbers, I've spoken to these. Our Jamaican public schools are doing very well in terms of the regional comparison. So if we look at, you know, the maths and English there, this is giving you all of Jamaica versus the public schools. And I should explain what this means. Public schools are all of our secondary schools. But you know that there are some students who will go to maybe a comms college or to many of our small businesses that do CSEC classes and so on, and they'll register through them. And I know all the time I meet young people who will say, Miss, I'm going to try the maths again. This is my 3rd time trying the maths. And you know, we have a lot of partners who do that. So all Jamaica includes our schools, our public schools, plus those students who may be doing CXCs external to the public system. So the data there is showing you where we are in terms of our public schools. 44% in maths, regional 38.5%, 37% for all Jamaica, 85% in terms of English for the public schools, but all Jamaica is 68%, which says we do need to look at some of those external entities that are providing training and helping our students to do these exams. There's obviously a deficiency that we see there because the public schools are very much outperforming those other institutions in both mathematics and in English. Now, this is an area that I'm hoping I can get some help from the media to highlight. I would have said that there are 56 high schools, secondary schools, that we have identified as schools whose performance is below what we would like. 56 of them. And these are the schools that we spent the time doing the interventions, the math camps, the English camps, the extra homework work with them, the work through digital means too, and having our experts go in to work with them. And I'm very pleased to tell you, Jamaica, that 47 of the 56 NSLIP schools showed improvement in mathematics. And 100% of them improved in English A. That is cause for celebration. And I see Mr. Otis Brown, the regional director for Region 1, clapping because he knows the kind of hard work that went into this with those schools. It says, Jamaica, that we can reach our children and we can get them to greatness. And I'm going to call out these schools. Charlie Smith High School for English A now. Charlie Smith High School, from 13.1% last year to 75% of their students passing English A. We have Bustamante High School, from 12.1% to 51.9%. We have Fair Prospect High School, 9.5% to 73.7%. Greater Portmore High School, from 21.3% to 78%. Merlin Otti High School, 19.2% to 85%. Glengoff High School, 16.7% to 82.8%. These are in English A, and as I said, is 100% of the 56 schools improved. Mathematics, where 47 of the 56 improved. I want to highlight a few schools here. Edwin Allen High School went from 25.4% to 74.1% of their students passing. And you had St. James High School going from 26.5 to 40.5. Cross Keys High School from 7% to 40%. Iona High, 29.2 to 41.9. Marcus Garvey Technical from 11.5 to 31.5. And Kemp's Hill from 22.8% to 29.4%. We still have more work to do, but you see that our schools are making the effort. Our teachers are working hard. Our principals are working hard. They're working with us. We can't at the ministry just say, oh, we're going to do these interventions and they just happen. The school has to be receptive. The school has to do a lot of work to create the environment for the interventions to work. And they did. And that's why we can today celebrate with all of these schools. This is remarkable, absolutely remarkable for our country. And I have some tables here which you probably can't read, but it has every single one of the NSLIP schools and it has their performance year on year. In terms of, I know we're happy, right? It's a great moment. It's very good to be able to go through this. And it's also good, I know, for the team to feel that the hard work is paying off. And so teachers, people in the ministry, your hard work has paid off. But guess what? We still have enough more to do. Much more to do. Now I have to also talk about CAPE, which is the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam, and the results there. And we had several students there, and our public schools were the main ones that did administer CAPE. And that's very important for us to note. In terms of entrance, we're seeing less students doing CAPE, and that we will look at over time too. But let's go to the results. For Unit 1 of CAPE overall, 96.2%. Look, I'm going to give you who sat. 96.2% of them sat in terms of the pass rate. We have a pass rate at CAPE, Unit 1, of 91.2%. 91.2% of our students who did any subject at CAPE, Unit 1, passed. And that's a slight increase over last year. We're doing really well with CAPE. And so teachers, principals, keep up the great work in CAPE. We are so pleased to see that continued performance. In terms of Unit 2 CAPE, overall pass rate of 92.3% for students doing Unit 2 of CAPE. And so we're very happy there. and we've seen improvements in 25 subjects in Unit 1 and 17 subjects in Unit 2. So congratulations again to our students in relation to that. And we have some of the passes there, but I'll have to just jump through. I think there was one there where there was like 100% pass rate there. And we're very happy about that. And some 97% also. And I see in French, 100% of our students who did French at Cape passed it. So there's some really, really great results there in terms of, I'm looking at performance arts. The Spanish results are excellent too. This is just really happy. Jamaica, we have to celebrate. Sociology, 97%. And then that was a nice one that I saw. Pure maths, 92% passing pure mathematics. That's really very good at the Unit 2 level. And so we're very happy to talk about Cape. And we are very, very pleased with the performance there. And as I close, because I know you have questions, I will just speak again to the highlight. I know most people are interested in the CSEC. And so I'll remind you where we are in terms of our public schools. The pass rate was 44%. We outperformed the region in that for all of Jamaica, which is students who are in the public schools and those who do it outside of public schools. They also saw an improvement in the performance on mathematics. In terms of English A, the national pass rate for our public schools is 85%, which is above the regional average of 80% and a significant improvement on last year. And so again, I want to thank some people there. There they are in the picture. The leadership of the ministry, I want to thank you. P.S. I want to publicly thank you for all of your hard work. I want to publicly thank our Chief Education Officer, and I will say it here. A few months ago, I had a meeting, and at the end of the meeting, I spoke to the CEO and I said, we need to get the CXC results up. We're doing so much work. And I said, what will happen if we don't get the results up after doing all of this work? And she said, Minister, we got this. And I said, well, if the results are up, I owe you cake. And the cake is in my office this morning for our CEO to thank her. I know she was around a lot. I also want to thank the entire leadership team. And I see Miss Berry, good to see you. And even our head of finance, thank you in making the school's life easier. You play an important part. All our regional directors, everybody, I want to thank you. And I especially want to thank our teachers. And I want to thank our principals. This is hard work. It was a lot of hard work, Jamaica, and they've pulled it off. And of course, to our resilient students who went through COVID. That frightened me. I did not expect confetti in the boardroom, but that was frightening. But we celebrate all of you, and we say congratulations to our children. And I'm one who always says, even if you don't get the results you wanted, it's okay. There are many paths to success, many paths. And we have many avenues available to you. We have Heart, that is really wonderful. And even people who did CXCs and did well are now wanting to go to Heart because of the wonderful programs that we have there. We have our community colleges doing a lot of work. There's so many things. Our teachers' colleges are open and bringing in and doing remedial work with our students too. We have our sixth form programs. There's so much more. And so I don't want you to be discouraged if you don't see the results that you wanted. We are here to help you. We're going to work with you. We want to see you successful. And that's our goal. That's our goal here in the Ministry of Education, is to try to reach every single child, because we understand that there's greatness in Jamaica and it lies in all of our children. It doesn't matter where they come from. And we have to find them and we have to work with them. That's our commitment to Jamaica, that we'll continue to do this and take our children on that path to them realizing their full potential. potential. Thank you all and congratulations again.
We wouldn't have gotten your facial reaction. Thank you so very much, Minister. And if you know anything about our minister, and you should know much by now since she started within this ministry, she's out there. She is behind us, as PS would have said. So she's not just out there as a face, she's behind us, pushing us and saying we can do better. And we can, and we have been doing better. This quote came to me. I mean, I learned it when I was younger. You know, we had to memorize a lot of things back in my day. And it is, the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. Round of applause for our students and our teachers, our principals, our parents, all the persons within the ministry, all the persons within the communities who would have said, you know, I don't have kids, but I can help out. I can do a homework program here or there. For those students who took things into their own hands sometimes and they went online, we have the resources online and you've used those. And we are so extremely proud of you. Good job, ministry. Great job. We're celebrating, and this just makes us feel great knowing that the work that we're putting in is bearing fruit, and it positions us and ripens the appetite as well to go forward and to do things. So I am just so happy today. My cheeks are glowing. If I were a lighter complexion, they'd be pink, but maybe today they're another complexion as well. So good job, congratulations. At this moment, we're going to open the floor up, not just for questions, but feel free to come along with the commendations as well. Okay, so do we have any questions from the floor?
Good morning, Jerome Williams from the Jamaica Observer. Good morning. We've seen an increase in the math numbers from 39% to 44% for the public schools, but that number is still pretty low. Why is there such a disparity between the math numbers and the other numbers for the other subjects? That's the first question. And I know you mentioned some of the intervention programs at the start of your presentation, but what is being done specifically to continue to get the math numbers up?
Thank you for that question. And obviously, that's not where we want to be. We want to go even higher. And as you saw, we're above the regional average, which says that there's a mathematics problem that we have in our region and that we have to fix. And we do know it. When you talk to some of our children, you see this fear of maths. And a lot of them get it from their parents because they fear maths too. And it is something that we have to work on really actively to make mathematics more exciting. And some of the things I've seen is, in terms of new approaches to teaching mathematics, we've seen using more manipulatives because the students really do learn by play too, and using their hands on touching things and understanding the concepts in reality and not just abstractly. And you'd have seen a lot of work in the schools too. So we're expecting the numbers to go up over time, because at the primary level, remember, you have to start early, and then you roll it through the system. At the primary level, you're seeing a lot of improvement there. We're seeing more specialist teachers in the primary schools. So we have teachers who are teaching maths and science separate from those doing language and social studies. So that's a start, because what we realize is we need to instill that love of mathematics from early, because the numbers we're seeing are really a result.
I started my first business in the basement of a factory over 30 years ago. We had no heat and no air conditioning. Instead of customers, our office visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes.
The camps and the work the ministry team did in seeing the needle move up, even with students who may not have had the greatest of foundations in mathematics, says that we can do it. And so I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by what I saw in terms of the PEP results, because remember, for PEP, maths went up. So over time, we're expecting that we will see the number go up, and we're just going to have to really, really start early with how we teach maths and have our best mathematics teachers engaging with our children from early. And that specialized approach we have in the primary schools is what's going to, over time, lead to that improvement in that number. Yeah, wanna add?
Minister really captured it all. But just to add, as Minister said, we are starting from very early with our intervention. And as you have seen in PEP, we have improved significantly. And so we were expecting to see that improvement as they move up. These grade 7 students, as they move up, we are expecting to see great improvement. But the truth is, the system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers. So that single variable that has the greatest impact on learning is the teacher quality. And so our commitment is to continue to retool our teachers. We're looking from the pre-service piece of the work, that is our teachers in the colleges. We're working with our colleges to review the curriculum, to review the materials, and to support the program of learning for our teachers in the colleges. We're also doing the in-service training. Right now, I can boast about our teachers who are working with us with the University of the West Indies, our math teachers. Over 100 of them have been participating in a series of capacity building, looking at the pedagogical skills in mathematics. And next week will be the final in the series, and the teachers are turning out. CXC is also working with us because CXC realizes that more needs to be done in the region, as you have seen. It's not a Jamaica thing, it's a regional thing. And so right here in Jamaica, our minister gave the approval, it went to cabinet. We will be hosting the region in Jamaica. The Caribbean CXC Examination Council will be convening its conference right here in Jamaica in October for our teachers, again, focusing on pedagogical skills, looking at technological innovation in education, and a focus on mathematics education. We will be putting our teachers in that interface. Our minister has given us the approval through cabinet. We are investing $21 million in bringing out our math teachers to have that interface in October with CXC and the specialists that they will bring here right in Jamaica. And of course, minister referenced our specialists, our coaches. A new approach that we are taking as we go forward, we are treating with that with the Ministry of Finance, is to embed the coaches. So no longer will we have a few coaches and specialists being on contract. What minister has instructed is that we must look to see how that can become a natural part of the architecture of supporting the ministry. So removing our specialists from this, uncertainty in how they are employed, into embedding this into our structure in ministry. We are building out the foundational unit in math and English, so we can have stronger representatives in the ministry who will develop the curriculum, who will review, who will monitor, and who will support the teachers. So it's a suite of improvements that we're working on, specifically driven at the mathematics, but of course, we're doing other pieces of the work. We are investing in our labs, minister said that. We are improving the infrastructure in our school. This year, the minister, through cabinet, gave us more resources for improvement in maintenance. We moved from 450 million to 628 million just for maintenance. We have furniture, 300 million we have got this year for furniture. So again, the conducive environment is also important for learning. And minister spoke earlier about getting the students to school, right? The more you are in the interface, the better your chances for learning. And you will see the transportation support to get our kids in the classroom. You're seeing the nutritional support to get our kids in the classroom. It augurs well for the new school year. We are going to go back into the war room. We have a war room right here every Tuesday in the ministry where we unpack learning. We look at our strategies. Ministers come to say, go back to the drawing board, look at what has been done well, look at what we are not doing well. And every Tuesday we caucus from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, looking at how we can get things better. And so Jamaica, I can tell you, you should see greater things in your education system. We ask for patience, but trust us, we'll get it done. Thank you.
Hi.
You can go ahead with your question.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Shauna Small. I'm a reporter at the Gleaner. PS, regarding the teachers and the STEM teachers that you mentioned, specifically math, I wanted, every year, we have the conversation about teachers leaving and the shortage of these particular teachers. So I wanted to find out from you today, what is the shortage that we're currently experiencing in terms of the capacity that we have for these teachers and the numbers that we currently have in the school system?
I wouldn't have the precise number, but what I want to say, and Minister is just giving out good news today, perhaps we forgot to say this, but we are seeing a significant decline in the number of resignations this year. And we are seeing our teachers coming back home. You can clap. They are writing to us. They are telling us that they are back. And of course, when they come back with a wealth of experience. And our leaders who left us, they are writing me back. They want to come into the ministry. And they are telling me about the great ideas that they have and what they want to. So we are seeing our teachers coming back. And I can say a great reduction. I think about 2 years or 3 years ago, we would have seen significant numbers. We were confused and we had to go to the drawing board to come up with strategies. But, you know, we wrote to the Ministry of Finance and they responded already. We shared it with our minister that they have again given us the opportunity to allow our teachers who we have granted leave to work while they are on leave. So again, they have an opportunity to earn twice. So we have 2,000 plus teachers who we have approved leave. Our minister signed off on it. And those teachers have the opportunity to work back in the system. So that's a facility that is available to treat with whatever gaps we see. In addition to that, those persons who have proceeded on retirement leave, they have an opportunity approved by the Ministry of Finance again to come back and serve. And those persons who are out there with the expertise, the Ministry of Finance has approved that we can also extend them a contract to them for them to allow us to support our students where there may be gaps. So there are opportunities. We also have the virtual school solution. And that's an opportunity to flip the classroom. We have 100 high schools that will benefit from that solution this year, which is live learning with the solution or pre-recorded learning. So there's always an opportunity to go back and to learn, to revisit, and to beam into expert teachers in other schools that are doing well. This is the benefit of the solution. We try to pair schools. So a Campion, for example, and a Holy Trinity, they can be working the same math timetable so they can benefit from the expert at Campion, beaming live into Holy Trinity. And where we can't manage it live because of a bandwidth, we have the pre-recorded lessons stored on the platform. Teachers can always go back and teach students have that every day. We have been promoting also extended learning. The truth is, the more you interface with the material, the better you become. And students also have to take responsibility for that. Self-paced learning is something that since the pandemic, we have been pushing. Students have to maximize their opportunities on the road where they're traveling to school from school. And of course, in their free time, when we are on social media, scrolling, we are asking our young people to use the opportunity of extended learning. We have all the resources online. One of the things we did this year too is to break down the syllabus in bite-sized pieces. We worked that through with our NSLIP school. So we took that administrative burden from our teachers. And we also designed the assessment instruments around those assessment, those topics, again, to track, to make sure that our teachers stay on track, our students stay on track, and also to inform the intervention. So there are a suite of strategies that we're trying. We may not get it right all the time, but once our principals write to us and tell us of a solution, we discuss it with our minister. And once it is within the architecture of the government, they will be approved to do so.
Okay, thank you, PS. And well, we've seen where the number of students who are getting 5 and more subjects, inclusive of math and English, have increased. But that's just at 1.2% for this year. Top concern is the ministry about that, minuscule jump or increase? And is there a target that the ministry has, say, over the next 2 to 3 years to get the students who achieve these 2 subjects to be more? Because, these are crucial areas that students need to move on to university and so forth. So do we have a target?
Yes,
for that area?
The minister has been reminding us, remember we have a transformation plan and the success indicator in the transformation plan is to get at minimum 85% of our students passing with 5 or more exit exam, including math and English. But you have to also remember that, as I said earlier, this is one of the exams that we do. So we are not reporting on all our learners now. So later when the City and Guilds comes in, we will be able to tell you fully how many students matriculated for higher learning or the world of work have been got 5 or more subjects, including maths and English. Remember, City and Guilds is acceptable for higher learning and the world of work. So we have another set of students who are coming. We have to allow for flexibility in the approach because our students are different. They learn differently. They have different goals. And as a ministry, we have to provide different suite of assessments for them, which is what we have done. So that will be coming very soon, and that will tell a different story. So this is just part of the story. And yes, we are not comfortable. We want more at the CSEC level. It's our gold standard exam. So we definitely want more, but we are not daunted. This is a sign of hope that we are on the right track, and we're just going to intensify and enhance so we can get it right and get our students excelling. We really want them to excel, and this is our job to ensure that they can fly. That's the job.
Morning, everybody. Mahiri Stewart, Nationwide News here. Question to PS. Last year, I distinctly remember that 50% was the goal for mathematics passes for this year of CSEC. We know it's 44% this year, which is 6% less than what was expected. Is there anything you could identify that may have stopped the ministry or the country in general from achieving that 50% goal? And in light of the fact that it's 44% now, is there going to be a higher goal for next year that surpasses 50%?
You know, that's an emotional response that I'm going to give, because when I remember when we looked at the results and I said, Minister, we got a little good news. We really wanted to go at the 50. You know, it was an ambitious target coming out of 39%, and ending after the checks with CSEC and the children querying, we ended at 40 overall for Jamaica. We really pushed it. We really wanted 50. And the real thing is to get back to pre-pandemic, where we, at our highest, we were 54. And as we said, we really want to get higher than that. So we're a little disappointed. Minister said it too, but we are happy that we are seeing the signs of improvement, and we really want to celebrate the small victories. There are many variables. Remember, we had the pandemic. These students, the foundation for these students really was weak. Minister told a story of how the children testified in their valedictory speeches about the difficulties being behind the screen. Of course, we have other challenges. Remember, we had Hurricane Beryl. Again, a number of our schools were impacted. Students were disrupted in their learning spaces. So that could have impacted as well. In addition to the fact that we do have transportation issues, that is why the government is responding to that. We do have nutritional issues. So the social variables do impact our learners, and we cannot separate that. Of course, we can do more with resourcing, and we are looking at that. Minister has asked us to look at how we can, for these project schools that we are working on, how we can get the manipulatives in. And so we are moving for a procurement to get actual resources into the hands of the teachers. As we have done for the reading for grades 1, 2, and 3, we're going to do more now for math at the higher level to make sure that the tangibles are there, the tactile materials are there. And also our boys, we're looking at the pedagogy for our boys. The boys like to move. They like to tap, they like to dance, they like to touch. And so we have to retool our teachers in how they can tap into the differences in our learners. So we have much more to do. But we're celebrating the small victories, and we are grateful.
Yeah, I do have another question. Okay, so I know for a fact that the ministry had math camps in Easter. And I just want to know if there's any update you can give in terms of the correlation between those camps and whether or not the schools that participated in them had any jump in performance.
All of the NSLIP schools, we had camps. And I had shown the table earlier with all of the NSLIP schools. It was 47 of them out of the 56. So that's your statistic there, that were able to improve their results. And we do believe it's in the mathematics. So we believe that the mathematics camps that we did help those schools. We also obviously know that the work in English, because 100% of the NSLIP schools improved in English. So we know that what we are doing is working, but we have to do some more. And I'll tell you some of the issues I found. I went to one camp in Easter, and it had only half of the students who were sitting CXC there. And of course, that's why the minister must go out more, right? Because you talk and you see things and you ask questions. And I asked, why are these students missing? And I was told that probably it is because during the Christmas and the Easter breaks, there's no lunch at school. And so I immediately said to the team, as we do the next set of maths camps, as we go forward with the camps, we're going to have to make sure that we also provide food, because some students won't come if there's not food there. So some of them would not have benefited from some of what we were doing. And that's, so as the PS said, the social issues, having to get to school every day of the week and not just some days of the week because you're maybe in a food insecure environment or the transportation costs are too much. We have to address those. We're not going to see the huge changes we want without that. But I'm very encouraged because we know that when you improve English, maths will improve too. And so the key is the English. And that's what we're seeing really improving in the PEP, and we're now seeing it in the CXC. And so we expect that we will start to see that momentum moving on the mathematics, but we have to deal with the social elements too. That's holding some of our children back.
Right, and a follow up to the question would be, we know that's 47 of the 56 schools have improved, but for those 9 that didn't, is it a case where they stagnated, or is it a case where they recorded a significant drop? Is there anything that you think can be done with those schools specifically to make sure that it is 56 next year?
Yes, we're going to have to. We are committed to them, and the team has been working really hard with all of them. And so we see that for those 9, that they improved in English. So we know that they're working. But it means that we need to help them more in terms of the area of the mathematics. But what it says is that every single of our schools that you may deem underperforming can actually really get to our students with the right amount of effort and assistance from the ministry. And that's what we commit to continue doing with our schools.
Okay. I guess my final question would be, in terms of STEM, we saw that bio was looking very good. I think it was around 84, but I think when you look at physics, chemistry, integrated science, it probably wasn't as high. I don't know how it would compare to the rest of the region.
I still remember the spark in your eyes, that thirst for knowledge that seemed to light up the room. But life got busy, didn't it? Then we came across a game changer. At VPrep, we discovered an online school that prioritizes well-being and success. We found a safe and happy place to go to school that built your confidence and let you be you. It's given us the chance to hit the reset button. And let me tell you, seeing that spark return to your eyes, it's been nothing short of amazing.
It's going to rely on every single school being a STEM, or we like to say STEAM, because the arts is very important to us. So every school has to be able to do well in the sciences. That's our goal. And that's why we did that audit during this year. I went around to schools, I went into labs, and I have nothing in there. Nothing in there. And so we have the audit that was done of every single science lab in Jamaica. And we already have a procurement going. So all of these schools, we're going to spend a lot of money. It's over 100 million we're spending to get equipment into our science labs, because our students are doing science in a very theoretical context, and we have to give them the equipment. And so during the course of this coming academic year, we'll get the procurement finished and we'll start rolling out the equipment in the schools. And we expect, maybe not right away, obviously, because you want them to be using it for some time, we will get those science numbers up. And we have to, because the future of the world lies in STEM. So we have no choice but to prepare our children for that. And we are ready and prepared to do that work.
Thank you so very much. We have some more questions.
Just one final question. The CXC will be introducing the new qualification, the Targeted Caribbean Examination. Is that something that schools in Jamaica will be implementing come September?
for those who didn't hear, it is being piloted and for this year, and then afterwards we'll see if we'll implement same. All right. So thank you so very much, everyone, for being here. I did ask for commendations and I got a few. We're going to wrap now, but I do believe it's important to do that. And I know that a number of persons have joined us on Nationwide and on RJR. It's midday. So they will be going to the news and we'll be making the news as well. So thank you so very much for joining us on those platforms. But let me quickly share about 3 or so commendations. There should be more, but we'll share these. Nick Kane says, I love to see real results from all these policies and programs that we're always hearing about. And I'm happy for the students and especially the dedicated teachers and the supporters. Thank you so much. And then another one, Garvish says, the media needs to focus on the positives and stop sharing the down vibes. That's the one for you. And then we have another one, and it's from Chris Kays, and she says, congratulations to Merlin Otti High School. Big up me pickney them. And the final bit to wrap as we leave is, what time can we go to the portals? Because we just want to see what our students did, how. So it's at 1 p.m. and 1 p.m. Yes. And feel free to reach out to these schools as well and go online. So thank you so very much for everybody who's here. I do realize that we have our member from JISA who is here. Thank you so very president, of JISA. We're Miss Mackenzie, I'm always happy to see you. Thanks for joining us. And for everyone who has been here, for everyone who has joined online, we were just so pleased to share some good news. Some might think it's minuscule, but good news is good news. And we're grateful that our hard work is paying off. Thank you. Congratulations. And quickly for the media personnel here, you can use the QR codes, to access the presentations. Thank you. Have a great day.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.